Hi guys, it's Kremp again. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The LA Thieves on paper seem like OpTic Texas' closest challenger for next season, but Karma isn't so convinced that Scrap is going to be up to the task, roasting him pretty hard last night, and Scrappy himself admitting that with HyDra looking rather good, maybe this year for Scrappy it's going to be about calling out, and there might be some concern for his own gameplay, given the way that BO7 is looking so far. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always. One more race, I think, for Porter 68, Kremp 6 Porter, whatever, in his championship. We'll talk about that in due course when his season is officially over. But loads of interesting clips last night. Of course, we had some hostage taking, which we have said last year and will likely continue to see. Another clip that I wanted to share was this one from Havoc. So we talked a little bit about the movement earlier on today. There's also, again, further things, like every day we see new movement tech being discovered. This is what Havoc has figured out on this map. This is what Imprint, right? The kind of snow one. So here he is, and he gets a couple of kills, and look at what he does here. Now, of course, this wall is to some extent designed to allow this to happen. Like, there's a wall there with the intention to wall bounce up into the window. But the fact that he can do it like this is pretty crazy, right? Because we know that Matt Sconce and Treyarch, they said that you're only allowed to do 3 bounces. You can only chain 3 in a row before it stops working, basically. But you can see that he can hit 1, I mean, he actually does it here in a second, 1, 2, 3, and then hops up into the window. I mean, you know, he's gunning everyone. And it doesn't seem like he even needs to hop on that other wall. He can actually just hop once on the wall. As long as he spins around, he can then bounce a second time on the same wall and up into the window. So this was always something I wondered about a map like Fringe. I mean, I would love to see Fringe come back now with this in mind, right? I mean, Fringe came back in Black Ops 6 eventually, but Fringe, the question was always, well, how do you get up into Grandma's house and, well, not even Grandma's house, but how do you get up into the barn and Grandma's house, and what do you do about the train track side? You know, it doesn't really work without wall running, but with wall bouncing, you know, it is something to think about. So, you know, I think there's some Black Ops 3 maps here, maybe Stronghold with a small adjustment. That's the map I always want coming back. Actually a good snow map in my opinion, unlike this one. It's okay, but it's not Stronghold for sure. Something to consider, because there are some maps from the wall running era that would probably work, given that this movement tech actually does allow you to get into places. It's just pretty crazy, right? Like, I just didn't expect this. When we heard about wall bouncing, when we heard the mechanics were going to be a bit more advanced, stuff like this. I mean, you know, he bounces once off the wall, he does like a full 360, and then he bounces a second time off the wall and hops up into the window without even too much mantling, and it's just got these guys on ropes as a result of it. So, and then, yeah, he fails one of them, but then he manages to do it again as well. And then Guns, I don't know if it was the same guy, but, you know, that guy came for revenge. So it's pretty interesting, and it's just, we're only in a few days into the beta, right? And I know that the players are getting familiar. For example, in Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, maybe Infinite Warfare, I mean, even, let's say Black Ops 3, people weren't familiar with wall running early days, right? Like, the game was brand new, the wall running idea was brand new. It took a long time for people to figure out how to use it to the best of their ability, but already we're seeing here people figure out some pretty wild ways to use this mechanic to gain advantages. So intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Illy talks about obviously playing the BO7 beta. He has suggested that a comeback could be on this year. There are plenty of players that are pretty excited about BO7. I do understand it, right? I mean, it feels like it happens every year at this point, but because going into BO6, we said the same thing. It's like, oh, the last couple of games haven't been so good. Modern Warfare 2 wasn't so good. Vanguard wasn't so good. But in Modern Warfare 3 was better. And then there were plenty of players in challenges that were like, well, back to a Treyarch game, I guess I'd better keep going, right? And they did play BO6, and then they maybe found it okay. And BO7's now here, and it's like, well, this is probably the game to go and play as well. So I think Bance has kind of said, oh, you know what, I'll do one more year. There are some other players as well, like European players, like Cobra and FDOT and Mythics and those guys. Probably players that really should be getting considered for pro teams. We think that Afro might be getting picked up to, what was it, Cloud9, there's a rumour there. The issue is, if you're not picked up as a European player when the season begins, good luck making it happen as the season goes on, just because visas are such an issue sometimes, I mean all the time. That getting that sort of a team as mid-year is such a challenge, so it's tough. But if you want to get picked up as a European player, you've pretty much got to just fry in the season before, do some damage at the World Cup or something, and then get noticed to get picked up. I mean, Afro, I think, would have done some damage at the World Cup if his team would have been able to go. Let's not forget he tried to join Ravens, then they stopped Ravens from even turning up to the tournament. So that was a bit of a shambles. We think Afro might be getting signed anyway with Beans, with aBeZy, that's the rumour. What Cloud9 are potentially cooking up over there. And as I say, plenty of those European guys, the likes of Cobra, you know, they will still be down in challenges. Should they have had opportunities by now? I would say probably yes, especially given what Mercules did last year. There's lots of questions as to whether the team should be willing to take a little bit more risk on some more unknown quantities, because let's not forget, if Beans didn't have his visa issue, Mercules would probably have been stuck in challenges the whole of last year, and yeah, he would have got picked up eventually, but by who, right? Who knows what team he could have been on. And we also know that when you play with weaker players, you don't look as good. I mean, if you spawn Mercules into Paris Legion back in the day, yeah, he's going to look good, but he's not going to look as good as he did with actually good teammates. So yeah, that's kind of the aside on some of the challenges guys. The fact that they're probably just going to keep it moving, right? I wouldn't be surprised after this season, BO7, if there is, unless the CDL changes quite dramatically. I'm hoping the timing works well on this front, but I'm expecting some sort of exodus, right? I mean, players in challenges will think, well, BO7, at least it's fun. So let's grind that for a year, see how it goes, and then call it a day. I'd be hopeful that the CDL might change tack after this upcoming season. It becomes more of an open style, because I think that will happen eventually. The question is whether it works to actually keep some of the challenges pipeline alive. A couple of clips I wanted to mention. This one from Scump, actually, talking about the hackers. Don't know your guys' experience on running into hackers so far in BO7. There have been some cheater clips going around, that is for sure. They do definitely exist. Scump reckons he hasn't played any. There's some questions as to why. Again, it's kind of bolstered the narrative around the whitelisted accounts, right? That people believe Scump and the boys, their accounts might be a little bit too good when it comes to actually getting themselves into some bot lobbies. They're unlikely to match up against hackers if they've got these special account privileges that we're not really sure if that actually exists or not. But there have been plenty of rumors of that effect. People are saying, oh, Scump's gaslighting the community and all this. Look, hackers are going to be an issue in the game. That is what it is. But this is what Karma had to say on a couple of things. Not only about Scrap, but also about the game itself. Karma seems like he's pretty happy being a coach, because most people, I think, are having a pretty good time on BO7. Of course, the community and the opinions are always going to be split about it, and there is always some elements of a honeymoon period. But, of course, all these guys have been grinding this game all sorts over the last few days, and most of them are still having a pretty good time with it. Maybe that's because their accounts are whitelisted, they're playing in 6-man parties, they're not coming up against hackers, whatever. So understandable they're going to have a good time with the beta in that context. They've raised the level cap, you can do a bit more, there's new weapons to play around with. So yeah, they're going to enjoy their time, understandably. Karma, we know historically, is one of the most, like, I don't want to say cerebral exactly, but when the game is just out, Karma is unbelievably good at it. He's always been the best at this. I don't really know exactly why or how, but I remember Black Ops Cold War, Karma had retired, and he was literally the best player in the game for the first, like, 3 weeks. I mean, in every single Search and Destroy tournament or tournament that he played, with the sniper, with whatever, Karma was just winning everything. Like, he was that good, and that's always been a thing for Karma, that he picks up the game really quickly. This game, he, I mean, has picked it up quickly. It's Karma, like, he's going to be good at it, but he's not having the greatest time on the game, which is interesting. I don't think it massively matters, right? He's going to be watching plenty of the game. We have wondered whether he's going to be with the headset on behind the players again for the CDL like he was at the World Cup, because they allowed that for the World Cup, and I think the fans in general would actually quite like to see that continue for the CDL for the new season. The rumour was a while ago that the CDL has said no to that. Maybe their opinion in due course might change. But that was Karma's opinion. But what he had to say on Scrap was pretty funny, really. He roasts Scrap for a couple of reasons, but also Scrap roasting himself. Watching HyDra play the game at a pretty good level, Scrap's wondering, damn, is my year already gone?
I play hackers all the time, question mark? Dude, I don't know what kind of lobbies y'all are in. I don't think we've played a single hacker. Yeah, I don't know. It might just be in your head.
Kind of lost some energy. You guys aren't having fun? It's crazy.
I'm having a blast.
I'm just really locked in right now trying to get a nuke.
So much fun. I got so much dope.
Is it that good?
So good.
Are you f***ing with me right now? Are you being sarcastic? We gotta get David on Delta.
Dude, David is hilarious, dude. David is
Oh, I'm waiting for someone to. Once my boy gets up, I'm fucking on Delta Force, bud.
Wait, really?
Oh my god.
I'm just getting no dope. I'm getting no dope. It's cool though. It's cool. I'm glad people are liking it.
I'm loving it. And this that's
You lost your COD passion. It's a damn shame.
Shout out to Deadshot and Octane sponsorship.
Equivalent to Lockjaw for trigger finger. I think Ernie has symptoms. Damon Barlow.
Bro, my trigger finger is good when I'm actually going hard.
It's not what Damon Barlow's saying.
Bro, Damon's just so fried. This guy's hit the bong 100 times.
But that's DB5. He's got 5 rings. I got 0.
Bro, you are terrible.
Nah,
Might
I think
be,
Ern's winning the ring this year, though. I think Ern might be winning the ring.
Yeah, until FaZe Vegas gets in there, slaps him up a little bit.
Yo, Boggy, you're a beast, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Might have to carry me this year.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll turn up. I'll bring the comms this year.
Yeah. The comms.
I'll bring the comms, bro.
The comms, man.
So of course HyDra's not doing anything remarkable here with the movement in this clip, but the point is that Scrap is like, damn, this guy, you know, you might have to carry me this year, I might just do the comms. There has been a fair bit of talk about which players will go well with the movement, which players won't. It's clearly going to be a big part of play this year. We've seen loads of clips over the last few days. If you're not using the movement, can you still be okay? You know, probably the answer to some extent is yes. I mean, even you look back in the jetpack era, some players were still reasonably effective without using it to a great degree. Even the last few years, did accuracy do any sliding, any slide cancelling, really? You know, some of the players, and accuracy wasn't exactly a great player over the last few years, but he was a reasonably effective player, right? Like, he was on the team, he got the job done, he got the teams to pretty good results, even as a many are for the roster. So, you know, it's understandable that you don't necessarily have to use the movement all of the time to maximize results. But likely in this game, it is going to be a pretty important part. Now, I think Scrap can do that for sure, but Scrap's theory is the iron always wins, right? We'll see. We'll see if that remains true in this game. I think for some players, they might need to adapt a little bit, and I think some players will, in the upcoming game, be noticeably stronger or weaker with the changes to the mechanics. I'd be surprised if we don't see at least some evidence of that. Most players are probably going to be a pretty similar level, but something to think about for Thieves anyway, especially because their AR duo is Kenny and Scrap's kind of wondering whether, let's say, the iron always wins is actually going to hold true when the game comes out for real. But intrigue to your thoughts in the comments. Couple of classes to quickly go through here. This is what Simp has been using on the Drazah. Yes, this gun got nerfed, as we know, but it's still pretty strong. That's what he's up to. I think Shotzzy made a couple of adjustments to his class as well over the last couple of days as well. So that's what he's got going on. Let me just hit the screenshot so I can zoom in. This is what Shotzzy's rocking with if you guys want to check it out. So very much intrigued to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.